invest in and follow principles. That has proved to be pretty successful.
This landlord's going to make almost $2 million over the next 12 years for doing something one time. And that's like residual. This guy's got another 7 retail spaces and he's got 10 stories of apartments above it. And I'm like, man, I'm on the wrong side of the coin, right? I need to own real estate, not broker it.
You start doing deals that are absolutely life-changing, like that put you on the path for intergenerational wealth.
Welcome to the Real Estate Home Runs podcast. I am your host, Louis Van der Horst. This is a podcast for busy professionals who want to learn about passive income producing strategies that have helped others crush it in the real estate world. Whether you are a new or seasoned real estate investor, this is the podcast for you.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Estate Home Runs podcast. Today on the podcast, we have Javier Hinojo. Born in El Paso, Texas, Javier came from humble beginnings. After exiting the U.S. Army's military intelligence, 82nd Airborne, he found himself looking for a positive way to build legacy wealth. Javier had a light bulb moment while attending a real estate seminar and over time was able to turn a measly 32 cents into 75 million. As an experienced real estate investor, Javier has completed over 130 value-add property acquisitions in Dallas, Austin, El Paso, Tampa, and Raleigh-Durham. Javier's strength lies in his ability to identify and steer value-add strategies. He is skilled at acquiring off-market distressed properties and stabilizing them to maximize return. Currently, Javier has 827 units across 7 states, which earned him placement into the Rich Dad Poor Dad Hall of Fame for his success in real estate. With grit and sheer determination, Javier continues to build his net worth and the net worth of his accredited and non-accredited investors. Welcome to today's podcast.
All right, everyone. Today I feel like Javier is a world traveler. Him and I are friends on social media. Sometimes he's in one city, then next thing you know, he's in another city. Javier, thank you for joining us.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm actually home for like 3 weeks, which is awesome. It's been a crazy year.
I bet. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. I know you do a lot and are very involved in social media. Give us a little background and then we can get into today's topic, talking about real estate and multifamily.
Yeah, I've been investing for almost 7 years, 6.5 years. And I flipped some houses. I flipped a few my first year and then 15, 20 the second year. And then I ended up doing about 50 a year when I was flipping houses. And then I first started flipping houses and then I started wholesaling houses. I kind of did it backwards. And then just roughly about 19, 20 months ago, I decided to quit single family and just buy apartment buildings, mobile home parks. And fast forward, almost 2 years, we're at 690 doors, close value. That's about $50 million. We have another 300 plus mobile home park that we're buying in a few weeks. So we'll be over 1,000 doors within 2 years, which is, I never thought I'd be here. To be honest with you, just still feel like I'm pretty new. When I decided to quit my single family and go to multifamily, I'm like, okay, how am I going to do it? And I'm still thinking about it. Like, how the hell am I going to do it? And I'm already doing it.
Yeah. And you're pretty busy. Before the recording, we were talking about you having kids.
Yeah, I know. I showed my wife my travel schedule for the summer, and then she looked at me and she said, "Hi, hey, so are you still planning to stay married?" And then I laughed and I looked at her and she was serious, like, "Oh shoot, like that was not a joke." Like, all right,
yeah,
okay. So I scratched off a couple of things that I had going on this summer.
That's good. Yeah, we want that as number one
for sure.
Yeah. So when you say you did flipping and wholesaling, did you do the flip and then you wholesale, or you started with wholesaling then the flips?
Yeah, I first started flipping and then I just got so many deals that I couldn't take them all. And I started wholesaling some of them.
Okay. That's a nice way to still be involved, be engaged in the real estate market and not have all the commitment of a flip.
Yeah, for sure.
So what has helped you get into multifamily larger deals for you to have those many doors in just 2 years? That's quite impressive.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think it's just number one is you have to believe, right? You got to believe you can do it. Like, okay, can I buy a 10-unit apartment building or a 100-unit apartment building? I believe that I can buy a 1,000, unit portfolio. I still haven't had a chance to do it, but I believe I can do it. And when that opportunity presents itself, I'm going to give it 100%, shot at it. But yeah, number one is just believing that you can do it, right? And then just hanging out with the right people. Everybody has an investor personality. They kind of know what they like, and everybody has their own risk tolerance. So if you're hanging out with a bunch of flippers or wholesalers, they're flipping 10, 20, 200 houses a year, which I know some guys that flip that many houses. It's insane. They make good money, but most likely you're probably, if you want to learn, you're probably going to be, learning how to flip houses, right? So if you want to buy apartment buildings, then you need to hang out with folks that are actually buying apartment buildings, because then most likely I'll buy an apartment building.
Yeah. I forgot who says this, but you become the sixth person out of the five that you hang out with. So that's good.
Yeah, right. Show me who your friends are and I'll know who you are, something like that. I don't know how the saying goes, but we all know what it means. Whoever you hang around with, that's what you're going to be, most likely.
Yes. So what are some ways that you are turning liabilities into assets in your life and maybe investments?
Sure. I don't know. I'll tell you what, like I took a trip to Orlando here a couple of weeks ago with my family, and we did a Universal Studios trip. And one of the biggest things that I hate the most, and probably what everybody hates when they go to Disney or Universal Studios or any kind of amusement park, is waiting in line. You know, it's such a pain in the ass to sit there and just wait an hour and a half to get in a ride that lasts like 2 minutes, you know? So I told my wife, honey, you know what? I think there's got to be some kind of VIP private tour. I just Google it, right? I had no idea. Yeah. And sure enough, we Googled it, and yes, they offer a private VIP tour. Like you get your own tour guide, you go front of the line, you get like backstage access. It was pretty badass. Like there's people waiting in line for an hour and a half, and they open the back door, you get in front of everybody and get in the ride. And your guide tells you which is the best seats in the front, the middle, and the back. And then they'll pick the seats for you, and everybody's looking at you like, who the hell are these people, right? It's kind of cool. So how do I turn that? Because it cost me like $6,500 for 4 of us, right? So it wasn't. And so how do I turn that kind of liability into kind of not a liability? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold an event, right? I'm going to hold an event and be like, hey guys, I'm 24 people. We're going to come out. We're going to hang out one night at a restaurant, just at a bar and hang out, network. And then the next day we're going to get private VIP to Orlando, right? And I'll charge like, I don't know, $1,500, right? Which is probably what they would pay, or maybe a little bit less or about the same. And that'll cover like my trip. It'll cover if I bring my wife and my kids, or if I bring my staff, it'll pay for their trip. It'll pay for the hotel. It'll pay for everything. But I get to hang out at Orlando for free, VIP private. So, you just got to get creative how to turn certain liabilities into, I don't know if it's an asset or just where you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's smart.
And I pay that, I got one of my buddies putting it together for $1,500. Hell yeah, I'll go all day long. Especially if I get to hang out with them and I get to learn and ask them questions and get out in a really good atmosphere. Heck, the rides and all that, it's not even important. What's important is you're hanging out with like-minded people for a whole day and you're sharing life memories. That's where you get connection. That's where you make friends. And that's how deals get done,
That's good. So walk us through a deal that you recently did, or maybe your first deal. How many units? How did you fund it? How you guys put the financing in place? And what's the long-term game with that, or short-term game?
Sure. I'll just talk about the next one we're closing. We're closing probably, 3 weeks or so, maybe 5 weeks. I don't know, whatever the bank says. But it's a mobile home park. It's 312 pads. We bought it for $5.4 million. And right now we're underwriting it at an 8 cap, which is real conservative, and is worth about 7.1 at least. So, we almost have a $2 million equity when we buy it, but we haven't got the appraisal back. And if they come back if they appraise it at a 6 cap, that sucker is going to be worth like $9 million, right? I mean, we're buying it for 5.4, it's worth $9 million. And the stabilized value at an 8 cap or like a 7 cap is like 11 million, right? So that can be anywhere from 12 to 15 million. It's crazy. As crazy as it sounds, I don't even know what the hell it's worth, just because it can vary a lot. So I'm super excited to see what the appraisal from the bank comes. It's going to be at least 7.1. So it's a really good deal. We got a bridge financing. It's 75% occupied. The goal is to get it to close to 100% in the next 2 to 3 years, and then get a long-term debt on it. So we just got a bank to loan us the money. It's around 7% interest. It's not the best interest rate, but it doesn't matter. A couple of points and 100% of the rehab, and they're going to give us 80 to 85% of the purchase price. So we'll have to bring to the table maybe $1 million, $1.5 million, and we'll raise that money from investors. And that's pretty much it. We buy it and we hold it for 2-3 years, refinance, pay the investors back, pay the first loan off, and then you have a free mobile home park that'll cash flow 25, 30K a month, right? After all expenses. So yeah, that'll change your life.
Absolutely. And they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to
be around. They're not going anywhere. Yeah. That's like the last place anybody will live. That's like the cheapest place. You're in a pension, you're in retirement, you're spending $950 a month in rent, or you can go buy yourself a trailer that's worth 10 grand and pay $400 a month and move it there. And you just save yourself $600 a month. For some people, that's a big deal, especially if they're on a really tight budget.
Absolutely. So what are 3 things that have helped you hit real estate home runs, singles, doubles, whatever, whether it be from mindset to like what you mentioned, connecting with the right people?
Yeah, it's really going to be just believing, networking, right? Believe in networking, and actually, you got to put in the work, right? You actually got to go out there and you got to take the risk. You just can't sit there and analyze everything, right? So you got to go out and do it. Connect with somebody. If you don't have money, if you can find deals, whatever it is, if you need to shovel shit, right? Like my buddy Tim says, if you got to shovel shit all day, do it. right? Whatever you got to do to get around people that can get you where you need to go.
That's good.
Yep.
And what's next for you? Maybe the next 5 or 10 years?
Look, I really wanted to slow down, man. Like this year, I wanted to slow down. I told my wife, look, I'm so tired, not tired, but like, man, I feel like I'm everywhere, just traveling. I try to stay pretty focused, but I just felt like I just had a lot of stuff going on, and I was doing better on social media. I was starting a podcast, and then all of a sudden, like, here comes an apartment building. Like, oh shit, here we go. And then like 2, 3, 4 weeks later, here comes another one. Like, oh my gosh. And then here comes another one, right? Like we bought 2 in 1 week. It was crazy. Like we bought 2 in 1 week, and we had just bought one like 3, 4 weeks prior to that. And then we got the mobile home park under contract. I'm like, holy shit, like I'm trying to slow down, and these deals just keep coming to me from networking or from my sales team. And I'm getting together in my mastermind, and my mastermind launches in November. I made 1 post on my social media. Out of my first 10 slots, 8 got filled up with 1 post. I'm doing a teenage millionaire challenge. It starts in about 3 weeks. I'm getting like 20 teens from all over the country to come to my office, and we're going to train them for 2 weeks, and they go back home, and we're going to buy some commercial property. The goal is for them to be net worth $1 million. I'm doing that with a couple of friends of mine, and are putting it all together. So they chose me as a mentor. So my friend Tim Mai and Robert Allen, he's a well-known real estate author and coach. So he's like, holy crap, they have more stuff coming up. Oh, and then they said, hey, you should put a coaching program together too. I'm like, man, I never thought I wanted to coach. I'd rather do a mastermind. But as long as I have the right people in the course, where somebody doesn't need their handheld, where I don't have to ask them, hey, did you make your 5 phone calls today? Like if that's the kind of person you are, you should not pay for anybody's coaching. You need to be able to be a go-getter. So yeah, we got that going on, right? I got some speaking events, coaching, mastermind, teenage challenge. I'm buying properties. I'm still raising money for my deals, and I still have 690 units that I need to account for, right? So you got to make sure you surround yourself with quality people so you don't burn yourself out, right? So I'm able to delegate a lot of that stuff to my team.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces taking place. Deals coming in, managing the deals that you currently have, the education, social media. A team is very important.
I still got 5 kids, and I'm married, right? So
yeah, another full-time job.
Yeah, right. I still got to hit the gym, and I still got to like make time for myself.
How do you stay positive with all of that and things going on? Helps you?
I don't know. I have a really strange personality. I don't really stress over anything. Like I don't stress. It's really, I remember a couple of years ago, I went to my doctor for my checkup, and I felt like I was stressing out, man. Like, man, I've never been so stressed in my life. And so I feel stressed out, and she did almost like everything seems normal. Like everything was just fine. Like, damn, I feel like I'm stressing. But, it's tough, right? I can't say it's easy. As you're trying to build a business, somebody out there is going to be working harder and is going to want it more than you. So at the very beginning, you definitely you gotta be hungry, right? Like I hear guys talking about like, hey, I work from 9 to 5. And that's all I do. Okay. Yeah. But did you always work that 9 to 5? Like you never worked 60 hours a week? You never worked from sunrise to sundown? Like never before you made it? I would say they did, right? But once you make it, right? Once you got everything's going for you and you got plenty of money in the bank, you can definitely go to 9 to 5. Or when you hit your goal or what. And honestly, it really depends what it comes down to, right? People say, hey, I do this for my family. I do this for whatever. And I'm a little selfish, and I'll be honest. I do this mostly for me, just because I am selfish, and my family gets to benefit, or they get to suffer for it. Either one, right? I don't spend time with them because I need to build what I want to build. But when I do build it, they get a benefit. But I'm not going to bullshit anybody. What do I do this? I don't do it for my family. I do it for me because I need to accomplish something.
Yeah. So how can people stay in contact with you, learn more about what you're doing?
Social media, right? Follow me on Instagram, Javier Hinojo.jr. I think I'm the only one, Javier Hinojo. You'll see my picture. You can't miss me. Just Facebook, just search my name. I got a YouTube channel as well. I put a lot of free content there. My name, Javier. And I have a Facebook group called $1 Billion Multifamily and Commercial Real Estate. It's $1 billion with a B. The mastermind is called $1 Billion Boardroom. It's not up and running yet, but it should be up and running in the next 30 days. And yeah, you can just reach out. If anybody out there runs into any commercial properties, they want us to help underwrite or partner up, we definitely always looking at what we can do operations. We can help raise capital, fund a deal, and whatever it is, sign a loan. And we have some cool forms as well in our Facebook group where people can go in and they can type in the information of the property and we can help them. Or it even has a video with an Excel sheet if you want to do it on your own.
Hey, thanks so much for joining me. And I really appreciated you taking from your time to share with my audience.
It's a pleasure, and just keep up the good work. Oh, I forgot to say, I do have a podcast. I got so much shit going on. I do have a podcast. It's called
what's the name of it?
The Naked Truth About Real Estate Investing. It's called The Naked Truth About Real Estate Investing. And so don't lose your shirt, right? That's my tagline. Don't lose your shirt.
All right. Take care then.
Cool, man. I appreciate it.
We hope you enjoyed this interview and got some value out of it to help you in your real estate investing journey. If you can take just a minute, please do us a favor and leave a review. Hit the like button on iTunes or whatever platform you listen to our podcast on, and subscribe so you can hear future episodes. Also, don't forget to check out our Real Estate Home Runs Podcast Community Facebook group, where you are able to connect with some great listeners. If you're an investor who is crushing it and want to share some information centered around passive income and real estate, please contact us. Hit those home runs, and we will see you next time.